Hey guys, it's Aaliyah and welcome back to Aaliyah TV Reacts. So today's video, we're gonna be reacting to this another video from Roman. It's titled How Money Ruined My Past Relationship, Raw Experience. And this was suggested in the comments on my last video about Roman. The video that titled has something to do with losing 60K on YouTube, basically. And let me read the comment for you guys. So this was the comment left on that video. It said, that guy is a loser. He made a video about how his girlfriend was paying 50-50. So basically, he used her funds to float himself and he still went into debt. Yuck. So yes, I believe this is the video that they're talking about. I didn't really watch the video or anything. I think I maybe watched like the first minute or two and then I just saved it. So we're gonna watch it together. But first, let me get into the disclaimer. Disclaimer, everything I say is my opinion about what's on the screen. If you're not in the video, I'm not talking about you. This video is for entertainment and commentary. No hate here, just honest reactions. A little sarcasm, some roasting, and maybe some side-eyeing. This is for entertainment purposes with a side of being realistic. If I critique something, it's called constructive criticism, not a personal attack. I don't beef on the internet or with people I don't know. If you disagree, you're allowed to. I love that. This is not an echo chamber. We are all unique. Just don't come at me like you're trying to win an internet battle. It's not that deep. Also, if I say something wild, I'm West Indian. It's just natural. Now let's get into the video.
June 2018, I come back from work and open the door of my house at the time and see my partner sitting at the table in tears. I decide to come rapidly close to her and she looks at me and says, Raman, it's over. I was completely in shock. This is something that I really didn't expect. And so I pretty much sit down immediately and reflect on what the heck is going on and what happened. In this video, I'm going to be bringing you with me through this raw, unscripted, one take only experience on what have been some of the pivot moments that led to this situation, but also share with you what I think is a really good way of managing money as a couple in a way that works for both parties in our current society. With the pressure that many of us are feeling with the economic situation, I am currently middle class, and so I'm going to be speaking from that point of view. But I believe that my idea is applicable to every walk of life. And so if you guys are interested, I invite you to follow along through the story as I describe some of those highlights that really impacted the way I look at money today. For that, I want to bring you back into the root of it. I arrived in America at 23 years old and I meet this French woman here in Las Vegas. I have a job. I'm making about $45,000 per year. She is in a fairly unstable situation, going through different jobs. At the time when I meet her, she was working at Bath and Body, Beyond Whatever. And our relationship starts very nice, young, experiencing. We were first living in two different apartments, and very quickly we moved together about 6 months in. The way we've organized money early on was pretty much 50-50. Now, I had paid for first dates, of course, like you may expect, and I would kind of go a little bit sometimes beyond with paying for restaurants. But when it comes to rent, well, it was 50-50. When it comes to grocery expenses, it was 50-50. I was making quite more money than she was. But there was no power dynamic between us. She was making her money, I was making my money. It was kind of a regular couple, you may say, in a way. And I'm not coming from...
Damn. So he already knew she was like in between job situations, making different career moves or whatever, and he was making more money than her and still wanted to split the bill with her. Wow. That's so crazy. That is so crazy. Like, honestly, even if you feel like, you can't do 50-50, but you make more money than this woman that you want to be with, and I guess they move in together, like to literally split everything 50-50 is crazy. That's so crazy. I mean, I feel like if anything, this is on the very like the lowest tip. If y'all not married, if anything, y'all dating but y'all living together, I feel like if anything, why didn't he just cover the rent? Like, why are you splitting everything? Because this person, this whoever he was with, she working at Bed Bath and Beyond. Is it Bed Bath and Body Works? I don't know. He said Beyond. So yeah, Bed Bath and Beyond. So like retail work, probably not making like a ton of money, nothing crazy. So yeah, like why? that was kind of weird, but he said he was like 23, so maybe that just being young, people don't be thinking about this. But if you know somebody, the person that you're with, like, why would you want to stress them out that way, having them having to worry about making sure they have their half of the groceries, every single thing like that? That's just, I don't know. I don't really subscribe to that. Like, especially if you know. It's one thing if the person doesn't know and they're just like assuming that you have everything under control and you're able to do that. But knowing that and still splitting everything, that's wild to me.
Crazy money. So it's not like I could afford a massive lifestyle. It was just a 25-year-old lifestyle that you may expect from someone making $56,000. At some point, there were multiple moments in our life that kind of pivoted everything. At night, 7 p.m., I'm driving my Mitsubishi Mirage. I go with her to soccer. She was coming to see me playing soccer at night. We go through a red light. I stay, and then the green light comes in. I cross through a street where I have full green light, being the first car. And it's a really quick flash that I'm describing to you guys. There is a car now that's coming on my left, hitting me at 50 miles an hour. I fall into a coma. I wake up on the side of the street, on the sideway, completely confused about what the hell happened. And then I shut down again. And I wake up a few days later at this hospital with massive head concussion. I don't know what's going on. I keep repeating myself to the point at which I regain control. And at the time, my partner is on my right hand side when the accident arises. The car hits us on the left. She's on the right side. I, bounce on her. She gets injured slightly as well. The person that actually hit us was drunk, with no insurance, no driver license. The worst case that you can think of, no assets. So that's where I want to bring quickly a first sidetrack is looking at your insurance and make sure that you have a good uninsured and underinsured to match bodily injury. I'm not an insurance guy, but I can tell you that I like at least $50,000 to $100,000, preferably 100 to 300. Match your uninsured, underinsured with your bodily damage. I have the state minimum because I want to save money. I know. So $160,000 debt.
Okay, so his accent was kind of thick there, but if you guys understand what he basically said when shopping for car insurance, make sure that your bodily injury and something else, like make sure they match, is what he was saying for the bodily injury and the uninsured or insured, whatever. Just making sure that you're overprotected. And honestly, my car insurance, I am one of those people that are like overprotected when it comes to car insurance. Just I don't know, like just be overprotected. And I own my car outright. So just being overprotected, like somebody hit it, bitch, the insurance company is cutting me a check. Okay, nobody else getting that money, just me. But honestly, people always fall in these hard times and they just get the bare minimum and stuff like that. And the bare minimum is cool to like skate by so you at least have something. But the person that hit him did not have any insurance. So in this case scenario, like that's not a good thing. That is not a good thing at all.
Comes into play. Now, a lot of which gracefully was taken care of by my health insurance at the time, but we have a case now. We have a case where we're going to try and sue the other guy. We know there was going to be a little bit of money here as I was pretty drastically injured, and I'm still feeling some of those signals today, sometimes waking up with electrical shocks on my left chest. It's not the heart, we checked on that. But anyway, so there was money that was going to come into play. My partner at the time was really shocked about the incident, and I couldn't understand it because I had passed out and I don't remember what happened. But she was fully conscious through the whole thing. From that point, I kind of gained back control to life a few weeks later, and she is slightly falling behind, which means that she wasn't able to come and contribute towards the rent. She wasn't able to come and contribute towards groceries. And so knowing myself that I was pretty firm on the 50-50, I started to open notes on my phone and track what was the money that she would owe me, right? Because I had to.
Wow. Okay. He just told us a lot. Okay, so they get into the wreck. His side gets hit. He is like in a coma, in and out. She's perfectly fine, but they live together. And in the midst of him being in the hospital, all this stuff happening, she falls behind on bills. So, and now he's going to keep track of how much she isn't contributing because now she's falling behind. And wow, I hope he like It says a reason why she fell behind, because I'm assuming the reason could be maybe because y'all got into like a bad car accident, like somebody being unconscious, passing out in a car accident. That's serious. That's very bad. You lost consciousness. Like you're so that's serious. So who knows what she was going through and having to deal with it, having, her boyfriend, her partner, the person she lives with in the hospital. And he said when he woke up, she was right there. So if she is on just like you don't know what's going through her mind. Like if she really cared about him, like this her boyfriend, this her man, like super in love, of course she's gonna want to be at the hospital, like be there. She probably can't even really think straight because she was just in this very traumatic car accident. Like people are gonna need time off and time away from that. Like, and who knows how he was looking. He's saying he still has effects from it today. Like this lady probably was going through a lot in that moment. And she fell behind. You come out and now you wanna keep track. You wanna keep track. Oh my God. Let's take it back some.
Myself that I was pretty firm on the 50-50. I started to open notes on my phone and track all the money that she would owe me, right? Because I had to then take care of the finances while she was kind of getting herself back on track. This started our downfall because now there was a power dynamic between us, and it became a little bit almost like an obsession over time, where I would keep track, guys, and I've evolved since then, but a young mind, I would keep track of groceries. Hey, we've spent 110. Here is 55. Let me add it to the total. Over the course of our time following the incident, we've run to a total of $11,000, which at the time, guys, I wasn't making big bucks. It was massive for me, and it's still, I'm sure, for many of you. This notion and power dynamic started to particularly impact the way we would think about because then I would keep track of what's going on. And we've kind of lost a little bit our sense in that. And there was one specific moment that may seem benign, but that really, it really changed a lot, I think. She wanted a burrito that night, one of her favorite burrito. And at the time, we were not pressured about money, but I was like, all right, maybe we should start considering paying back some of that debt. It seems so stupid, but I feel even ashamed speaking about it. She wanted avocado on it. And I said, maybe not this time, let's not take avocado, it's an extra $3, we shouldn't do that. But that described the extent at which I was conscious about money, when we could very well afford something like this. So as time evolved and we continues to go through that, I'm starting to feel that our relationship now becomes more monetary in a way than anything. There was always kind of this notion about, oh well, there you go, I put an extra.
Damn. That's so sad. That's so sad. He even said at the time, like, yeah, I could afford it, but he didn't. He felt like she shouldn't get the extra guacamole. That's crazy. This is so sad. This is so sad. Yeah, guys, this is so sad. Oh my God, I feel so bad. But he said he was really young, so I'm gonna try to cut him some slack because he was young. But this, damn. He basically tried to tell her no, no guac, no guac. But you know what's crazy, guys? I remember when guacamole was an extra 75 cents at Chipotle. It was 75 cents extra. I remember that. I remember that. That's crazy.
$20, that brings it to 8,347. And that, I think, put a pressure on her because she didn't have the funds to go behind that. And on top of that, I had encouraged her to get back into her studies because she wasn't really finding fulfillment in minimum wage jobs. So I would contribute to paying her studies. And then the spiral kind of kept going to the point at which the component around money blocked us. There was really no solution out for her despite making great efforts. I was pretty strained with having this money back to me because, well, I had to pay for all of that and make the efforts. And I think this was the cherry on top that really started our downfall. So I'm exposing here myself to showcase to you true experience about how it's tricky, guys. Money was an really important factors in how mismanaged or misinterpreted with a first event that wasn't really of our decision, right? Everything was cruising, everything was nice, drastically switch the way our life trajectory evolved. So over the course of those different relationships that have gone through that, I've really reflected on what I believe is the right way in our current society to interact with money as a couple. And so please allow me to share with you my take on this, because I've tried so many different strategies from me.
Okay, wow, that's crazy. That is so crazy. I would see how money will break them up because what? Not this $20. You just add $20 to her total from her Chipotle order. That is so sad. That is so sad. And but that was nice of him to pay for her studies to go to school, but damn, you paying for her to go to school, but then you still want 50-50 everything. That's so sad. That is so sad. Like there has to be a better way, but I guess he's going to tell us a way he feels like is best for couples. So I'm open to hearing this because I don't know. I've never lived with anyone, so I don't know, but if I do live with someone, I'm not paying for nothing. So what the hell? Uh, let's hear what he has to say. Hopefully it's some good advice. Hopefully it's some good advice. Okay, I'm not here for the BS.
Being a full provider to actually going 50-50, separate of accounts, join of accounts, let's have a couple fund, let's have X, Y, and Z. Here is my take. I think right now that in society, middle class, we are falling into a rhythm where there is a necessity in our society for both individuals to work. Today, as I look at my peers, as I look at people that I used to work with at Amazon, despite their income, well, there is lifetime inflation, but there is also the need for people to have double income. That's just the way life is, especially in America, where everything kind of falls under your own responsibility. How do I think about managing that dynamic with potentially two salaries? I like to refer to it as the ratio strategy. What that means is that whether it's the woman, male, whatever you want to interpret it as such, vice versa, it's about the amount of money that each is making, contributing towards the common bills. Okay. So let's say my partner is making $50,000 per year and I make 100. Again, vice versa. If the bills come to, let's say, $120, right? My ratio is then 66% and she's at 33 because I'm making twice as her. So out of the $120, she's going to be responsible for 40 and I'm going to be responsible for 80. The way this plays out is the impact in percentage, not in number, in percentage is hit the same way for each party. Now, how does this take place into real life? Well, when bills comes together and the total amount is being set of what needs to be allocated for assuming the needs of the family, then the subtraction is made, right? I contribute 80, she contributes 40. We go together into what I refer to as a couple fund, right? And that couple fund allows us to assume our lifestyle without having the pressure of one another to feel like we're always kind of chasing who's going to be paying X, who's going to be paying Y. And there is a sense of fairness and mental stability that is really nice because with that, she has still her own money to go and experience whatever she has a desire for, while still assuming the needs of the couple. Same goes for me. I have full incentive on continuing to, potentially increase my salary to allow myself more of that discretional income that we all want to spend on hobbies. This money then comes into a couple fund that gets paid towards needs of the couple, but also towards some of the wants as well. Let's say we go to the restaurant.
Okay, guys, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. The shit he's talking about is flying extremely over my head. It's so high over my head right now. I don't understand what this man is saying, okay? I don't know. What? You making 100,000 and she making 50. You gonna do 66 and she doing 33. What? Hell, do people really live like this? I really want to know if people actually live like this. I really want to know. I don't know. I'm not used to this. I'm really not used to this, okay? I grew up watching my grandpa get up and go to work every single day. My grandpa was a garbage man and they work really early. Then he would go to his mom's house in the country, tend to the pigs there. There was fruits on the tree, stuff like that. He will take them down, he will sell those. Like, so I come from where the men get up and they go to work, they hustle, they do all that. My grandma, she was at home selling like drinks, cigarettes, all that stuff from out the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't really understand. Like my grandma, she was a homemaker. She stayed at home. Yes, she sold little stuff on the side. And apparently that her little stuff she was selling on the side actually got them through really hard times whenever I guess stuff had happened. But yeah, I don't really understand what he's saying. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not even gonna hold you. Um my parents, my dad just he just pays the entire bill. He pays the entire bill. If it's a bill, my mom, the water bill, she'll pay the water bill. She'll just pay the entire bill, you know? So I don't really understand, like certain things like maybe like vacations and stuff like that. I would hear my parents talk about, oh, well, put this money here, do this here, do this there. Um, but I don't understand what he's saying with this. And like for me, when I picture my life, I picture the same thing, like just okay, well, this is something you should be taking care of. I don't want to be involved with anything that's going on cuz I really don't want to be involved with anything that's going on. Like I just don't care, okay? Like I'm here at my house. I'm already doing it all by myself. Like if I need to be with somebody and I have to know what this bill is, how much this bill is and where to go to pay it, we don't need to be together. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I want the softest life anybody could ever have. If I want to know something, of course, I'll go find out, but I don't care to know. I really don't care to know. Okay? I don't go around, I don't leave water running. I don't leave lights on, everything on for no electric bill to be crazy or nothing like that. So I'm not just out here free and willy nilly. I don't go to the grocery store and just pick up a whole bunch of random stuff. I actually shop with a list to avoid like just buying shit and extra stuff. So I don't know. I just don't really see this. And like as far as like going out to eat with the person that you're with, why are we splitting that? Why are we splitting food when we go out to eat with our person? Why are we splitting that? Why are we splitting that? I don't know. Cause I don't mind getting the check sometimes. Like, I'm like, oh, I'll pay, don't worry. I don't like, you know what I'm saying? Of course they pay, but if I'm just on some, I'm feeling nice. Well, it was my idea to come to Starbucks. Of course I'm gonna pay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, here you go. It's okay. I got it. This little $25. It's okay. I got it. I got it. But I just talking about I don't know. Do people really do these things? I don't know. I didn't grow up like this, so I really have no idea. So I'm just hearing it is just like, wait, what? You want her to pay for stuff? That's really all that I'm hearing is she gotta pay 33%, her 40, her $40, 33%, 40. I'm just like, what?
Although I must be fully transparent, recently it's true that I've been doing decent financially through some of my side businesses, not YouTube, as you guys know. So I've been able to, pay for some restaurants and little ventures that we go together. But at its root, I think that there needs to be responsibilities for both parties. What happens when there's the case of children? And there is right now massive video that is going on Twitter with over 150 million views that speaks about the dynamic between a husband and a wife with regards to work, with regards to household tasks. Here's my takes on it. At the end of the day, it's all about having a certain balance, okay? Where not one contributes to this and the other contributes to this and vice versa, okay? And that balance is not purely achieved simply of monetary or financial contribution. It can also be from household, day-to-day living tasks that needs to take care in the house. An example that I would want to share potentially is lately I've been extremely busy with work. Extremely. My weekly is at about 60 to 70 hours a week right now. My partner has been working a little bit less. And so I've been having to have a discussion with her and say, hey, I need your help right now on tasks around the household. I'm pushing really hard for work. Could you be please compensating with me with helping me around some of the household tasks? So we kind of continuously find that balance. Now, there is never going to be that perfect hair, right? But what we want is to constantly approach that into a dynamic where both of the elements in the couple do balance with some of the tasks that doesn't have to be purely financial. There is a strategy that I've been wanting to employ that I want to share with you. I think that's could be amazing with enhancing communication in a couple. Is think of it, I'm a number guy, with the number 100. Let's say a couple comes back from work, I come back and I say, hey, right now I feel like a 20. Okay. Well, that means that the 100, which is the task that needs to happen, needs to now fall on the partner, which has to do 80. So this way, it's not going to be.
Okay. Wow, I didn't even think about the household stuff, y'all. Oh, oof, that's a lot. I didn't even think about that. That's so mm, 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 mm. Gotta be at home doing stuff too. And make sure you got your 33%. Make sure you have your 33% and your chores at home done. That's crazy. That is so crazy. Okay, let's hear this. So he's saying, say you come home, you say you feeling out of 20, so that means the other person got to give 80.
Always that perfect balance of like the 50-50 with regards to tasks and finances and everything. It feels like, all right, you're 20, I'm going to come in at 80. But then maybe tomorrow I'm at 20 and I want you to be the one that kind of comes through. We need to have communication in couples. We need to have communication about finances in a relationship. Now, I know not children's. And, I can only speak from experience looking at my peers. I think that this can also be quite taxing, and generally it falls under the woman's responsibility. There is kind of this inverted responsibility that falls on women when children comes into play. And then I think we have to think about that ratio, right? So what does that mean? Does that mean a greater financial kind of contribution from the husband or greater in the household? You have to think of those elements together, not just fiscal, but together in contribution also on invisible things as well. Over the course of time, I think that having this mindset will allow you the chance, like it did for me, to find a sense of peace and fairness. Now, this stories is not going to speak to every person that's watching this. Some individuals want to be taken care of financially. Well, it's not a concept that I'm against it. You're giving me $10 million and my partner is, wanting to explore her hobbies that may not provide much of a financial outcome. But rock and roll, I'm not against that. But like many of you watching, I am middle class. And right now, I need and I expect.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So he just touched on if there's like kids involved and stuff like that. Oh my God. This is too grown for me. 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 Okay. I want a nice, soft, easy life, need nannies. I really don't even want kids. So it's not even something like I think about. But if I was, need nanny, chef, maid, cleaning lady, all that. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't. I can't do it. I just can't. I just cannot. I cannot. I cannot. This stuff is like so much work. Especially if I'm like working and I'm like really into my career, whatever I have going on. I need all those things. I'm not gonna like this is what I'm saying. I feel like people be so exhausted with all them kids they be having. Like, how are you not tired? And then y'all be having some of y'all be going to work. Y'all really be going to work and y'all got all them kids. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I can't. I just can't. The kids and then you got to deal with somebody with the money and you still got to like put in money. Like it's just so much. It's just too much. And then it seems like especially when the woman is like the mostly the one taking care of the kids and they always have to like, oh, mommy this, mommy that, and it's always up under the kids. Like I can't. I don't want that life. I just don't want that life. Like damn. Like see we let me just that's a whole different subject. Let's finish this video. But that was so crazy.
My partner to provide her fair share of what she needs to do for us to be able to have the balanced lifestyle. And I think that employing this strategy in your couple could provide you with that outcome. I'm really looking forward and interested to get your thoughts about this strategy. I'm not saying that this is the one. I'm just saying that over the past years, I've been able to dive into so many different ones. And finally, I found that this one not only allows for great communication, great fairness, but it also gives a common goal to achieve, because at the end of the day, money is important, but money is simply a tool. And ultimately, no one is ever going to give a damn about how much you guys are worth on your bank account when you're on your deathbed. But it's going to be about the experiences, the emotions, and the life that you've lived. So don't overpressure yourself to have it right, because I did not. And allow yourself the grace to experience like I did. And maybe this video gave you a chance and an idea for something to work in your couple when things actually truly matter. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thanks so much for that, Roman. Okay, my bad, guys. It's a commercial. Oh my goodness. I don't know. This was so crazy. This was so crazy. I wonder what people say in the comments. Let's go look at some of the comments if it'll load up. Let's see if it load up. The first one, it says any type of relationship where you keep tabs is doomed. Wow. It's such a bad feeling when you feel like someone owes you something. When that happens in a relationship, it's not going to work. Damn. When relationships become transactional, that's when they slowly die in my life. Mm-mm-mm. Somebody said, bro, nothing matches the peace, trust, and love you will experience in all shared accounts with a married partner. No his or hers, no scorekeeping, just trust, transparency, communication, and shared goals. It's a beautiful thing. Some long, I just want a short one. Shouldn't loan money to family or friends. Either give it without expectations of receiving it back, or don't loan it at all. That's true. That's why I really do not like lending people money. I do not lend people any money at all. Okay, this one looks good. Married almost 40 years, combined incomes, both working, and expenses from day one. Fortunately, we have been reasonably compatible on money issues throughout. It would have been much tougher for us that wait it would have been much tougher for us if that wasn't the case, and so your percentage share, including accounting for household and other chores, makes a great deal of sense. Thanks for sharing your story, Roman. Very honest, very helpful. So somebody thought it was helpful. Wow, somebody said it's not easy to share things like this, so appreciate you for sharing and hopefully helping others. I mean, shit, I just hope somebody shared this. Like, got to keep in mind that love has no price. I'm constantly reminding myself of that. Wow. If you planning if you plan on staying with your partner forever, then treat your finances like one unit. Say our money, our house, our expenses, our income, not my money or your bill. That's a good point. That's a good outlook on that. So, yeah, guys, this was crazy. It was a very interesting video. Thank you so much for recommending that. Yes, testing one, two, three. Thank you so much for recommending that this video. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. A lot of these stuff he was talking about, it flew right over my head. It did. It did. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie. Because I just don't. This is why I can't talk to broke guys. I can't talk to poor people. Like, I just can't. I just can't do it. I can't do it because I don't want to live like this. And I've done it before. I have done it before. That's how I know I don't want to live like this. I don't want to live like that. Okay. I don't want to live like, damn, we can't afford to do this. Oh, well, we don't have enough money for that. I cannot live like that. I really just can't. I can't. I can't. I'm spoiled. And you know what? Let me tell y'all something. When, talking to my grandma on my mom's side, so this is a different grandma. She would tell me stories about the house she would grow up in and stuff like that. And my grandma grew up in a house with like a working toilet, like a real toilet. But this was back in the day, so it was one of those things where you had to like pull it down and all this kind of stuff, right? And so when she got with my grandpa, my mom's dad, they moved to his house, stuff like that. He did not have an actual toilet. He had an outhouse, okay? Which was like, still normal for back then. It's even, people even have outhouses today. If my grandpa was still living today, he would probably most likely still have a freaking outhouse. So, yeah, so, my grandma's telling me the story. And one day I was just like, wait, Granny, so you had a toilet? Because she was telling me the story, right? And I was like, Granny, so you grew up in a house with a toilet and you left that to go be with grandpa in a house that don't have a running toilet? This is exactly what I'm saying. Like, especially ladies, you can't, whenever you go with somebody, you gotta, it's either the same or better, the same or better, the same. You can't ever come down, never go down. So with me and my life, like I have such a great, comfortable, cushy life. I can't go down from this. Okay, we right here with it. This is the life that my dad, my family provides for me. I can't. I love this life, so I need this or more, or more. So, and some guys understand that, and some guys they don't. They feel like I should be like, down for whatever little struggle stuff they have going on. Baby, I cannot. I don't relate to that. I cannot. I don't want to be that. I tried it. It was so freaking ghetto. It was the most ghettoest shit I've ever done in my life. Never again. Okay, well, let me stop. Well, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and a comment. Comment down below your thoughts on it. What you guys think about what he had to say about that. Is 50-50 keeping tabs, all this stuff, the 60 and the 33% and whatever. So comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. If you want to give me a video suggestion, the link is in the description box. And yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 100 subscribers, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.